welcome to Friday's live stream. I'm so excited today because I'm going to talk about a new sew along, and I'm going to really focus on kind of how I start a sew along, and you can take the tips and see if they work for you. They're kind of things that I came up with over the years where at the end of the sew along or end of a quilt kit or end of making a quilt where I would run out of fabric. So this is a way for me to avoid that. Worldwide Quilting Day is tomorrow, which is March 15th. So we put on sale 100 fat quarter bundles, and there's a link to that in the description box. And there's also a link in our newsletter today. If you're not on our newsletter, you can join our newsletter list. And the sew along we're talking about today is called the Prairie Home Quilt Along. So I'm going to talk about the sew along, and I'm going to go in detail about it so that if you have any questions. So it's using the Prairie Home book by Holt, and she took 32 blocks from this book and put them in this setting. So each of these is in the book. The cutting guide for the blocks differ a little bit from the book, so we are going to, on the 15th of every month on the blog, give you a free PDF. I'm going to show you what that PDF looks like just so you can kind of see what you're going to be downloading. So like the first month, it just tells you what page to go to and how many of each piece to cut. But you do need the book for the sizes and the instructions. And I'm going to sew mine. Now we don't have quilt kits of this, but you can buy everything separately. So let's go through this first. This is the fabric requirements, and basically what Lori used is her B bundle limited edition bundle. She has one in colors and she has another one just like this in background. So that's what I'm starting with, and I'm going to show you, I wanted to show you how it looks when you buy it versus when I starch it, how it ends up looking. So you're going to need basically just get a lot of colored fat quarters and a lot of background fat quarters. If I had to guess, I would think you would need 35 to 40 of each. Or you could do one background, and if you were going to do that, I would start with a lot. For sashing an inner border, you need 1 1/4. I'm going to be cutting mine length of fabric, so you need 2 yards. The same thing, the pewter right here, you need 1/2 yard, but I'm going to buy 2 yards because I'm going to cut mine length of fabric. You need 2 yards of the outer border, and well, 1 7/8, but I'm going to do 2 yards because I'm going to cut these length of fabric. And then the binding is 7/8 of a yard. And then page 2, you would print this out, and this tells you what you're going to do each month. And so basically April 15th on the blog, you're going to get this page, and you'll be able to do these 3. Then May 15th, you'll be able to print the May ones. So you'll have to, on this one, you will have to wait for that to come out because there are a couple of size changes. And of course, Holt designed all of this. She designed the book, she designed the fabric, and she designed the sew along. So that is available now for free. We also put the finishing pattern up on our blog. And so on the finishing pattern, what I like to do is go through and figure out what border, so like this, I'll go until I get to the border. And anything that's long like this, we write it so that you cut it with the fabric and then sew the strips together. I don't like to have strips in my borders, so I'm going to cut anything like this, this, and this. I'm going to cut that length of fabric. I'm going to label R, U, and V with alphabets, and then I'll make a note. So if you wanted to do your finishing up front, you know, you could get ahead and cut all of this. I'm only going to cut what needs to be length of fabric, because if I don't cut it length of fabric up front, I won't have enough length at the end. So I fill out one of my little sheets, so I'm starting with everything that's just right here. And as I make my blocks, I will put notes. So actually, since this is here, I'll just put this in my binder, and as I make each one, I'll do a check mark. Or I could even cut this out and tape it to this page and do check mark. But at least it kind of keeps me organized. I make so many quilts that if I don't have some type of record of what I'm doing, I'll come back and be like, oh, I have no idea. So there you go. So I'm going to show you, so basically there's the book. A lot of you already have the book. This is your fabric requirements, and this is your finishing. And this is going to be the sew along for Prairie Home. And it basically takes the different blocks from the book, 31 blocks, and then puts it here so you can make. It's just a way to re-promote the book and to show you a different additional quilt for free. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you my fabrics. Hi, Doug. I miss you. I haven't seen you in forever. Okay. So I have it all in order in here. So Teresa took all of these from those bundles and starched them. So she starches them and then she folds them into fourths. And so they're big and chunky instead of small. And then as I'm gonna make the first block, for example, I try to keep it neat. So like I'll just look at this and I'll say, okay, that's the yellow piece. And we made these images really big so you could see. Then I would just pull out each of the fabrics by just looking. At the block. Now, of course, I'm not going to cut these today. I'm just kind of showing you my process. I don't see that one.
This one is that one. Right here.
I'll pull the wrong one. The gold is here.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this one isn't in there. And I'll put these on a design board, cut off what I need, and then I will put all of these back in the stack. And sometimes I keep it organized by color, sometimes I don't. But I do try to keep it organized somewhat. Now, by the end of the sew along, it'll just be a mess, I'll tell you that. But having it in these big stacks helps me find it easier. And I do keep my background separate from my colors. So I'm gonna set these aside. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. Okay, these are gonna go bye-bye. I'm not using any purple in these quilts. I hate purple. So I'm actually gonna take these out right now. I give them to Teresa, and then we can either, like even this purple, and then we either give them away or sew them into something else. But yeah, I take the purple out. So this will come out April 15th, so that's not available yet. Now, starting in April, I will do reels on YouTube, and I'm gonna do each block separately. So I'll film a reel, and then I'm gonna give you tips either in that reel or on live stream. I can tell you on this one, I'll probably just press open. It's a lot easier. When I'm filming the videos, it's too hard for me to like cut, piece, iron, and get it right. So I have been, when I'm doing any kind of filming for a Fat Quarter Shop, I've been just pressing open, and I have found that it takes longer to press open, but I make less mistakes in my video. So I'm gonna go over again. This is the background. This is the background that you're going to use right here in this inner border and as sashing. You can either buy 1 1/4 if you're going to do width of fabric, or 2 yards if you're going to cut length of fabric. The middle border is this fabric, and the skews are on the pattern. You need 1/2 yard if you're going to do width of fabric. I'm going to do length of fabric, so I bought 2 yards. This outer border, you need 2 yards. And I have 2 pieces, and we can't remember what we did, so we just have who knows what, but I'll make sure the one I cut is from the 2 yard piece. I do a lot of that sometimes where I'll buy stuff and then I don't remember what I did, so just ignore that me and Denise can't remember that. And then binding is the same. Now this one we are going to cut, we have it where we cut it with the fabric. If you wanted to, you could do bias binding. If you were going to do that, I mean, obviously you probably need 1 1/4 yards. Now, because Lori knows I don't like purple. Oh, she does have purple in here. Oh, she does have purple in here. I will just swap it out. So who knows what I'll do, but I'm definitely, that purple's not going to go in my quilt. I can't handle it. So basically, when I get to this block, I will look at here and see there's not a lot of navy around here, so I'll probably put a navy here. I'll probably put a navy here, a navy here. There's not a lot of navy in here, but there are in the bundle. Several navies. So I'll probably use these navies where the purple is. And each of the blocks have a different background in them, and we've made the images big enough so that you can tell what fabric to use. Now, like I said, if you want to use one background, you can. We did not do fabric requirements on that just because I knew most people were just going to buy her scrappy, and a lot of you already have some of her scrappy backgrounds. Okay, so hopefully I've covered everything. I'm just looking. Okay, I think I've got everything. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is we're going to cut length of fabric, and I'm going to show you how I do it. And then I have a lot of quilts to show you. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to keep this. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, first I need a pen because I always write down what I do because, like I said, this sew along starts in April 2025. It finishes in April 2026. Now, I can't remember what I did yesterday. There's no chance I'm going to remember what I did in a year. Yeah, I didn't even remember this, and we bought this like 2 weeks ago. So, that's just a Kimberly thing. So, all of these little pieces right here are just sashings. I'm not going to cut those now because I would have to label every single one with an alphabeti and put a clip on it. And that alphabeti would be set aside for an entire year, and that is a complete waste. So I'm just going to go through and look. Anything length of fabric. And I did already look this morning. I did cheat a little bit already. So V2 is going to be length of fabric. This is going to be length of fabric. And this is going to be length of fabric. So inner, middle, outer. And I just look at where it makes it pretty easy because we say, you know, piece these strips end to end, subcut into. I'm going to skip the piecing part because to me that takes about an hour out of piecing. I also feel like if you're experienced enough and you do length of fabric, it's going to add stability to your quilt and your quilt isn't going to be as wavy. Okay, so the key here is for me to make sure I cut the right one, the right size. So V is my outer border. So I'm going to start there because that's at the top of the page. So I need to cut The biggest cut I need is 63.5. So I bet that this one isn't big enough. Let's see. Yeah, this one's not big enough. So that's probably why I bought a different one. Let's see. So 36 plus 36 is 72, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I do. I have it right here. Hold on. Yeah, so this is big enough. So I bet I bought this for the backing. I bet that's what that is. That's probably the backing. Yeah. And I probably did it before I started this. Oh no, it's right here. It's right here. So I wrote it down correctly. The backing is going to be that same piece. So I just didn't know how to read my writing. So the first thing I'm going to do before I cut length of fabric is I want to get everything nice and flat. You never want to cut when you have a wave. And then what I like to cut is I'll cut the selvage off and go this way, or cut here and go this way. It really doesn't matter. What's going to matter to me is going to be which one I can get straighter. So if it looks straighter this way, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go to my ironing board. And I'm going to kind of hold it up like this just to get that as even as I can across the top. And this is starched. And I'm going to iron. I'm not going to crease right here. I don't want to put a crease where this fold is because obviously that's going to be part of my length of fabric. Ironing and cutting is my favorite part of any quilt. Piecing is my absolute least favorite. So if I had a day to just do anything, I would just sit and cut an entire quilt and never touch my sewing machine, which sounds odd, but that's the truth. And I just want it really nice and flat. I love to iron. And you want to make sure you don't have any creases under here. And if you did, you would have felt them on top. You know, if you're going like this, you would feel them. So make sure there's no creases in there. Go to your cutting table. And this says I need 4 7.5-inch strips. So I'm gonna cut kind of weird, and this is what I do at home. So the first thing is I'm gonna find an 8.5-inch ruler, because that's what I have here. There's not a 7.5. I'm gonna line. You want it flat. You want no movement. And see how it's kind of wavy down there? It looks straighter up here. See how it looks straighter? So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to get a cut straight across. So I'm going to move this a little bit. Jordan's going to kill me, but just leave it like that. But what I'm doing is I want to get right here, I want this to be perfectly, I don't know what that angle is, but I want it perfectly flat with the fabric. Then I want to take another ruler, join it up, and you should not feel anything between your fingers. And that's going to give you a perfectly straight cut. But when you're looking at it, it doesn't look exactly straight. I'm super OCD about it.
Are you also lining up your print?
I was trying to like look to make sure my print is lined up and it's not. And so that's what's driving me crazy. Let me try this side. Let me try to go this way. Let me try to go straight. I might have to move my. So like you want it to line up here, but you don't want this to be crooked. But if you line up the print, okay, I'm gonna have to go with the fold because if I don't, and it's gonna be a little hard because this is slightly bigger than the mat. Okay, so right here, I'm just making sure. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm just gonna cut, I'll start here. Try not to go off the edge. Go here. And then this bottom part, just try not to mess up Jordan's table. And then I'm gonna flip it without trying not to move it. And then from here, I don't need this anymore. So I'm gonna double check my number, 7.5. Put the 7.5 here. And because you have a straight edge already, you can cut here. Move your fabric down. And if you line up the 7.5, you should have a straight edge. We'll see if that happens. Yep. So then this is going to be V. So I will kind of wrap it like this, and then I'll put a clip right here, and it's my V. That's one of them. Move this down and do the second one. But yeah, I love doing borders. Oh my gosh, I love it. So this saves you from creating a seam. And with a print like this, if you do a seam, whether it's straight or on the diagonal, you're gonna lose part of your design. So you are buying more fabric, but I feel like it saves you time piecing, but it also, just the look of it. If I judged quilt shows, which of course I don't, I wouldn't like any quilt that had a seam in it. And then you just do the same thing. And so Denise did the Wonder Clip. And then what I'll do here is I'll just put this one underneath it instead of, you don't need to do two V's. You're gonna know that this is right here. And I will probably leave this on a design board. And if you don't want to leave it on a design board, we could put it back in that bucket. But here, you have all of this left for, let's see, I've already got all my pages out of order. And let's see where she used it. I don't think she even used it on the inside because I'm coloring this. This is what Lori colored. So she didn't even use this on the inside. So I won't have any problems with this not being wide enough. I'll put this will definitely go in my bucket because these will be leftovers. Okay, then we're gonna do R. It's next. R is your background. Your sashing and your background for the inside of the quilt. And you're gonna need 59.5 inches across. So this is bigger than 59 inches, I believe. So, maybe it's not too much bigger. Okay, 30, 60. Oh, it's only a little bit bigger. I'm gonna cut the whole thing down. Well, okay, I'm gonna do 65 inches, cut that off. That'll make it easier. So make sure I do it right. 30, 60. No, I would just cut that off. No, I'm gonna just do the whole thing. How much to buy for the middle border? Okay, so for your sashing and inner border, you need 2 yards. For your middle border, 2 yards. For your outer border, 2 yards. So each of the borders, 2 yards. And then if you wanted to buy less fat quarters, you could use that leftover for your blocks. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. Another way you can iron is, this one has more wrinkles than the other one a little bit, so I'm just gonna take it and iron it that way, 1 layer at a time. And then I'll answer questions. What size sewing machine needle do I use? I use a size 90. What's it called? Okay, let me think. It's Schmetz 90 Chrome. That's what I use 90% of the time. And the reason why is a lot of my piecing uses paper. And so that is a sharper, I might be saying it wrong, that might not be the right word, but that for me goes through the paper better. Now, I do have some size 80s that I use, and I also buy the chrome. So for me, for some reason, the chrome lasts a little bit longer. And so those are the only 2 sizes I use. I do have some other sizes in my drawer because, you know, you never know when you might need to, you know, do something fancy. How much fabric did Kimberly buy for the Riley Blake Block of the Month with the Lori Holt fabric? We put it on the blog. So, and that's what we've been trying to do is anytime I'm doing anything, put it on the blog. That way, if you ever come back, you know, maybe you come back, maybe a customer or someone finds us on the blog 2 years later. It's got a place to live. Am I ever going to show you my new industrial machine you got to sew on? It's not in this room. We could do a reel on it, but I'm going to buy one for my house. So maybe when I buy the one for my house, Jordan can come and do a video. I love it. I showed it to Kevin yesterday for the first time. It goes 4,000 stitches a minute, and I mean, I can make so many quilts with it. Okay. Okay, so these are 1.5 inches. So I could do that same thing, which to me comes out more accurate, or you could fold it over. I prefer to do a whole big long cut. That's just my preference, and I do weird stuff like this on my mat so that I can get that length. I just think it comes out better. So I'm gonna do that. And I don't think you need to buy those. There's like things you can put on your rulers to connect them. I don't think you need that because I've been doing this for years. I don't think you need that. I've never even seen one in action, so I don't even know. But the most important thing is for this ruler right here to be lined up here. So it might not, see how it's not perfectly even with this edge, but it is perfectly even with my fold, and that's what matters. And this is how you can make your mat work better for you, is just to do sideways. And at home, I can actually stand on this side of my table or this side, if that makes sense. I don't have to be in front. So sometimes I'll cut my borders from this angle instead of this angle. And this needs to be 1.5. So I'm gonna actually cut 3 inches first. So I'll pull this down. Oh my gosh, I wish I could cut this whole quilt today. So that's 3 inches. Okay, I'm a little bit off there, that's fine. Okay, so this I'm gonna fold up. And I mean, I'm sure you use this in other places in the quilt. So this will go back with my fabric. This will go in the trash. But from here, I need to cut this into 1.5. Now, the bundle I'm using is going to be the B Bundle limited edition colors that Lori came out with this summer. And that has a mix of all her different colors, and then also the background bundle, and it has a mix of all her colors. And it also makes it easy because Lori colors it for you. The only thing I have to do is change the purple. She does have a brand new collection out called Typography that's going to ship in a, like probably 5 or 6 months. We bought it yesterday. There's gonna be a brand new quilt that has a typewriter. It is so cute. And that will be online today or Monday because we just bought it yesterday. So that's your inner border. And then we're gonna do the same thing with this one. So I'm gonna iron it and I'll answer questions. Where do I get the pattern for the sew along? I have the book and I can't find the quilt. Go to, type in Fat Quarter Shop Jolly Jabber, and it was posted in the last few days. I have heard you say you cut your pieces larger so you can cut down. Can I explain this, please? Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. I show it in a lot of my reels, so you visually can see it, but it's also so complicated that it almost, I feel like if every time I do it, it's different. So I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. What are the boards I put to put the fabrics on? Okay, the boards are called design boards, and we sell them. Lori Holt makes them, and the size I'm using is the 14-inch. But I have all the sizes at my house. I already answered that, yeah. There's also another question, but I don't know what that question is, so. Oh, okay, we'll answer it later. Okay, so here I've got this here. I'm just gonna iron this again. I need an industrial size cutting mat. The one I have at home is bigger. But we move this mat a lot, and so if we had a bigger mat, I think we would hurt ourselves. How many complete quilts a year do I make myself without your assistance helping? Probably that nobody does anything. I make all the blocks. So this year I've already done 3, I think, that I've fully assembled, like put the quilts together, done the blocks, probably half. At home, I actually do like to assemble the quilt. So if I have time, I will do it. So like, for example, the little, I did the Valentine quilt that, I did that one. I pieced that whole thing, and then I pieced, I can't remember, but I've done several. So I'm just gonna cut across. Do I starch my yardage? Yes. Actually, I don't starch it, Teresa does. But yes, I do. And I used to starch it. I had a bathroom at home that I starched in. And Will decided, my twins share a bedroom, which, what kid wants to share a bedroom, right? So he really wanted his own bedroom. And when Emma goes to college, and I said, well, I can't do that. That's a little much, but I can give you your own bathroom. So now it's his bathroom, and So she starches. I mean, I can starch a little bit, but he actually uses the bathtub. So I actually like have nowhere to dry it now. So, but I actually do like to starch. It's the piecing that I don't love. I do love it on my new machine though. And like I said, you could cut from the salvage side. You can cut from either side. It's up to you. Why is the pattern book separate from the directions? So that's because we're doing a quilt along. When we do a quilt along, we usually do something different than the book or the pattern so that it encourages you to just do something different. And it shows you how, you know, you don't have to just use a book or a pattern for what it is. And it's an additional free quilt from Lori using the book. Now, one thing I will say is anytime I'm doing a big border, I will try to use a ruler that's that wide. Now, obviously it won't be that long, but I do try to use one that's wide. So let's see, this is the 14 inch, right? Yes. Yeah, no, 18 inch. This is the 18 inch. And then we'll keep this, we have like a little stack in my sewing room, and we'll just keep this on the either the bottom or somewhere. And then the binding is actually, I'll leave it on this board because the bundle already has this fabric in it. Thank you. So I'll just leave the binding separate so that I don't accidentally cut into it when I'm doing the quilt. And I don't have to worry so much about this background because I bought a tiny bit more than called for, and the pieces are all small, so I don't have to worry about that. So let me know if you have any questions with this. I don't think jelly rolls would work well with this at all. I mean, you've got this big hat. I mean, maybe you could get some of these small blocks, but probably not many. Okay, so let me put this all back together. When cutting long pieces with a fold, what's the best way to get without a bump in the middle? So that's what I just showed you. So having, basically you line up the ruler here and you go straight across, and you don't, the more times you fold that fabric, the more times you're gonna get a wave. So doing that long, where I connected the rulers, that's how you get a more accurate result. Is there applique in the pattern? No. Now, the new typewriter quilt that she's doing that we're going to put online, because we just saw the sales rep yesterday, it does have applique. It has the alphabet, and I'm going to make it, and I don't care. Like, I saw that quilt and I was like, I don't care that it has applique. I'm going to make it. It's so cute. The name of my pattern to the right would be Spangled by Kim Deal using Lori Holt fabrics. This one is Lori Holt heart paper. Okay, so I think that's all the questions we have on the how I cut my quilt. So my next step in this will be doing reels. And so some months I'll have 2 reels, some months I'll have 3, because when I film those, it's easiest to do 1 block at a time. When I cut 3 blocks at a time and then sew it together, I don't think the reel comes out very good. So I think it kind of loses any of the technique that I'm doing. So some months you'll get more, some months you'll get less. Have I ever heard of cutting binding on the straight or on the bias? Yes. So on the straight is what I just showed you. On the bias is hard, and I don't ever do it. But we do have some videos on our channel on how to do it. On the bias, you need more yardage, and it is on the bias, so it's stretchy. Okay, so I talked about this recently. we came out with a new book by Emma. It's called Fat Quarters by the Dozen. And so with this book, it's 12 quilts, and every quilt uses 12 fat quarters plus a binding, a background, and a backing. Sorry, Denise is distracting me. She was crawling on the ground. Okay, so basically 12 fat quarters, a background, binding, backing. A couple of them have an accent fabric. And the reason we came up with this is we had a lot of people ask, okay, I'm in the Fat Quarter Club. What do I make with that? The fabric requirements are super simple, and so it will be easy to use your stash. There are traditional designs. There's a few modern, but most are traditional. And with every single quilt we're putting in that book, we're making a 12-piece fat quarter bundle. So we're not doing kits. We're just doing a 12-piece fat quarter bundle. That way you can pick your background. A lot of you already have a background. We do mention if a quilt could have used triangles on a roll or any type of foundation paper, we list that in the book, but the book is written the traditional way. Now, we have been putting links in the description box to take you to every product I'm talking about today, so you can pre-order that. It is in proofing stage right now. The quilts are being made. This is going to ship in October 2025. And that bottom right, you see the little sticker set. So we're putting together a cute little sticker set that goes with one of the quilts in the book, and that comes if you buy the book from Fat Quarter Shop. And I think it's really cute. I kind of envision you putting them on your sewing machine. Okay, so, oh, I'm so glad you went and got this. How did you do that? Oh my gosh. Oh, you put okay. Gosh. She's everywhere. She's on the floor. She's downstairs. Okay, so let me tell you about this collection. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I just bought this yesterday, so you might have questions that I don't know. Okay, this collection is called Typography. Hold on. Ships in October. And so now this is all online. It's just the kits that are not. So we are selling this. You can buy the whole thing as a fat quarter bundle. You can buy just the colors as a fat quarter bundle. You can buy the backgrounds just as a fat quarter bundle. We have lots of different options. And what's great about Lori's fabric, I think, is like when she calls it Lagoon, you know it matches anything previously she has that's Lagoon. So there's that. These are the 108s, and this is the kit. Okay, Jordan's gonna zoom in. I'm so excited. I saw it and I got so excited. So these right here all use So Simple shapes. So the only thing I'll probably do different is I'll probably do a solid binding, just because I'm probably going to be too lazy to do that pieced binding. But I'm so excited to do this. It uses So Simple shapes, so I'll show you that. Okay, so this time she has two different So Simple shapes. Let me figure out the names. One is called Glyphs, Glyph, and one is called Letters. So the glyphs make these cute little, like it's got a So Simple shape for like the stocking, the tree, the heart, you know, the candy corn, the pumpkin. And then you would use the So Simple shape letters to go on top. So there's a ton of these. And she's never done anything like this, and I'm sure on her YouTube channel she's going to do some videos. The Sew Along is going to start in November 2025. Oh, she's going to have, okay, hold on a second. Okay, so she's going to do 8 projects. So she's going to have where in November she makes the Merry Christmas and Let It Snow banner. So this will be a Sew Along. This will be November, January, etc., etc. So there'll be Sew Alongs on how to make these. These are all existing items that we sell. These are new. These quilty clothespins. They're wood. And then this is going to be a new pattern called Vice Versa, published by It's So Emma. And in that pattern, you get all three. We are putting together fabric kits for all three because some of you might want to buy 2 kits, and we don't want you to have to buy the pattern twice. And if you look at it, it's really, I mean, the collection is called Typography. This is called Vice Versa, and it's a way to show you, you know, inverse and outverse and how to use colors. So we'll have kits for that. This is online. It's this kit that's not online yet. The typewriter. She's gonna have a new project case, washi tape, the clothespins. These are the 2 simple shapes I was talking about. This is the one that's the shapes, this is the letters. And then she has a scissor minder that's 2.5 by 2 3/4. And then a key charm. One is the typewriter and one is the ampersand. So I love all of these. And then she's gonna have her design boards. This is really cute. It's a notebook, and the sheets inside are lined. This is her next beekeeper binder, new pencils, and new pencil case. These are existing buttons. So that's exciting. And then I also wanted to show you, Cassidy is Lori's daughter, and she has her very first collection with Riley Blake called Threads of Grace. Her name is Cassidy Grace. So this is her collection. It ships in October. She's gonna have a sew along, and that is going to use the Calico Sew Simple Shapes by Lori that came out years ago. So you might already have those. And that would use either, those Sew Simple Shapes are for either one of these. She's gonna host the sew along, and then she has 2 new patterns published by It's So Emma, and Rows of Bows, that is the cutest thing ever, and then Threaded Star, Quilt, and Runner. And so we'll have kits of all of this, of course. So cute. I can't wait to make this. This one would be, oh my gosh, I think this would be so cute if you did the entire thing in 2 colors or 3 colors, like all the bows in one color, the dots in one color, and the background in one color. So this is super exciting. Patterns will be available in September, and it's her very first collection. And there aren't any 108s on this one. Oh, and there's Cassidy. I'm sure you guys have all seen her. Okay, the next thing is a new book that we're coming out with. It's called Jolly Bar 5 book. Oh, we're showing quilts.
You can do this one on the table.
Okay. So Jolly Bar, this will be our actually 6th book because we did a Christmas one. But this, we are going to show you the 2 quilts, one that's on the front of the book and one that's on the back. Jolly Bar Book 5 has been on the coming soon pages for a while. It's actually at the printer right now, and it's supposed to come in early April. And when those books come, we load them the same day we get them. It's exclusive to Fat Quarter Shop. This is the one that's featured on the front of the book. And we do have a really big announcement in the works for Jolly Bar, so make sure you're subscribed to our newsletter, YouTube, social media. It's going to be fun. It was Jordan's idea. He gets all the credit for that. And so this will be a kit. This is the A Bloom collection by Corey Yoder. It's called Secret Garden Fabric Kit. And so that's what's on the front of the cover. And I'm going to show you what's on the back of the cover, or back of the book. Now, one thing I did want to tell you is,
Oh, it's upside down. The quilting.
oh, quilting, sorry. Is these, okay, one question we get a lot is in each of our Jolly Bars, we put an exclusive pattern in there. And we got so many questions over the years. You know, they want the pattern later. So these books are the Jolly Bar patterns that were originally in those books. It's just several years later. This one's really, I love the quilting on this. And this is the Starlings Fabric Kit. This is a Very Sweet Christmas collection by Bunny Hill Designs. And this is what Sarah put on the back of hers. So on those, you can click to be notified for any of the kits. Those are coming in April, May. If you want to click on the book, that's also coming April, May. And then we will make a set of Jolly Bar. It's where it's got all 5 books. So Designer Mystery 2025, we just got back the sample of the finishing kit box. So this is a prototype. It's not the actual, I guess it is the actual one. It's just like the only one we have. And so your kit will come packaged in this. And what's super great is on the back is a recipe from the kitchen of Cheryl. So we have about, I don't want to say how many spots we have left, but I will say we're at March the 14th. This starts in June. This will sell out. So this will be probably sold out by the time it starts. So if you buy the finishing kit, it's going to come packaged in here. The program goes from June of 2025 to May of 2026. It's our 18th year of doing this. I mean, I'm really aging here, guys. This is the first block right here.
I don't know if it is.
Well, we don't know if it is. This is just one block. Your finishing is going to be this part. So you can sign up just to get the blocks, which is right here. If you want to get the finishing, that's this. And then we also have a backing set. And the backing set is an exclusive 108. And the backing, if it arrives in time, will ship with your first shipment of the block of the month. And what's great about that backing set is you don't have to piece anything. And the finishing kit will also ship with month 1 as long as all of the fabric arrives. So that's super exciting. I just wanted you guys to see, a lot of you have already signed up for this, but at least you get to see like the fabric, how it's sewn, the quilting, and the box is super cute. The box is a little bit different size this year, I think. I think it's wider and shorter, but I can't remember. We have so many meetings, I can't remember. Okay, so another quilt that I wanted to talk about was each year in the Sew Sampler box, we used to call them recipe cards. At this point, I don't know what we call them, but you get this free block pattern. It always starts in April and always ends the next March. This is your preview of the next one. So if you're in that Sew Sampler box, this is going to be that freebie pattern. There is a quilt kit. It's called Flowering Quilt Kit. It uses the Summertime Collection by Camille Ross Kelly. And that will be, that collection ships in April. So we will have the kits online. And the link is in the description box. And it has all the information of what's in the kit. But we've got a kit. We've got a backing set. You will have to be in the Sew Sampler box, though, to get the patterns. So if you can't buy the kit, well, you can buy the kit, but you won't have the patterns if you're not in the Sew Sampler box. So we don't make as many kits for this just because it's really kind of more meant for that. Okay, now I'm going to show you some new products and then answer questions. Oh, but wait, there's more. What are the size of the new Sew Sampler blocks?
Can you measure that one?
Yeah, but I don't have a, hold on. Yeah, let me measure it. Yeah, I have a ruler. 18 and a half.
And that's the finished size.
The finished size of the quilt will be 64 by 84. Okay, good. Okay, now I'm going to show you new quilt kits. And this is just so cute. I love it. Oh, and you know, I wanted to show you this. Whenever Teresa makes these, she puts notes. It's so funny. I'm way too paranoid to do this because I'm afraid my ink will get everywhere. Okay, the first quilt we're going to show you is the Vintage Dishes Quilt Kit. So the kit includes the pattern, the fabric for the 64 by 76 inch quilt top. And I'm going to show it to you also on the table. And so this pattern was written by Riley Blake Designs. It's all pieced, and it's actually, sorry, it's really big. So this is a block, And then these are small blocks that you put into rows, and so it just offsets the cups and the saucers. And then I'll show you up close the border, and thank you to Riley Blake for letting us borrow this quilt. This one's 64 by 76. This is the 108 they put on the back. And then if you look at this, these are rectangles with corner squares. So I would say this is pretty hard, but this is super easy. So it's one of those quilts that, you know, I never want to make a quilt that's all hard or all easy. I want something that's going to mix it up. And this one definitely does, because I would say you've got beginner, intermediate, advanced. And the next quilt is also by, the next two are also by Riley Blake. They let us borrow all of these quilts. And these 3 kits are all, I believe, packaged by Riley Blake and come in a box. This is the Garden Variety Quilt Kit. It uses the Spring Garden Collection by My Mind's Eye. And the pattern is written by Crabtree Arts Collective. And it has that collection plus confetti solids, confetti cottons, and shabby fabric. And it's 81 inches square. So this is the Garden Variety Collection. Here is your confetti solid, and then your shabby fabric would be these. And so there's, this one's really fun. It has stars, birds, baskets, more stars, and then there's some butterflies down here. Yeah, right there, okay. And tulips. Just, it has a good variety of colors. And then this is, they put a Lori Holt fabric 108 on the back. We did get a shipment of 108s this week from Lori, so if you've been waiting on those, some of those arrived.
The one that we were going to show today sold out.
What?
The one that we were going to show today sold out.
Oh, the 108 we were going to show today sold out already, so sorry. Yeah, this next one I can show you just on the table. This is one of our patterns from years ago. I love it. I remember Sarah designing it. It's called On the Boardwalk. On the Boardwalk is the pattern. It's a little P pattern, meaning it's a black and white, you know, just single page pattern. And this uses the Forest Village fabric by Little Forest Atelier. It's 36 by 40. This is one of my favorite quilts that's just basic. And the quilting, can you zoom in, Jordan? The quilting on this, I think, really makes it. So this pattern is On the Boardwalk by It's So Emma. If you want the kit, it is called the On the Boardwalk Quilt Kit. These are, let me make sure. These are 1/2 inch. That is amazing, I love it. This is like quilting of my dreams. If I could have every quilt quilted in this pattern, I would. I love it. Okay, we got in our new pink limited edition 40-ounce quilt mug front. I'm like, I can't show, if I show it to you on the, look, if I show it to you, I'll have to do that. Mine, I've already got lipstick all over but this is the one that was the prototype. It does keep your, this is my secret. Okay, what I do is I go to Starbucks first thing in the morning and get Starbucks. They always say, Miss Kimberly. They call me Miss Kimberly. I'm like, I'm so old. And they're like, would you like extra ice? And so I do the personal cup so they don't waste a cup. And then it just is there. And then they pour it. Then they do the ice. And then at the end of the day on the way home, I get another one. And then I leave the leftovers in my car. And when I get in the car in the morning, it's still cold. I drink it on the way to Starbucks to get another one. Yesterday, Jordan made fun of me because I was a little hyper and I think I had too much tea. Okay, so now I'm going to show you new bundles we've put together, new fabrics that have come in, and I'm going to answer all of your questions. So this is a Pure Solid Sunshine bundle. And so these are fabrics that Sarah selected that go together using pure solids. I will tell you the two solids, Bella Solids has always sold great. Tilda Solids have really picked up, and I think it's because she has a lot of free patterns on her site. So if you search tildasworld.com, she has a lot of free patterns. And then for grunge, I put together 2 new bundles. Sarah did this. This is the Liberty Grunge bundle, and this is the Blackbird Grunge bundle. And so basically years ago, Moda put together grunge bundles and they sold them, and then when they sold out, they stopped. So anytime that happens, I have Sarah pick some so that we can replace them with something similar. This is the Raspberry Summer Petite Bundle. So if you were in the Moda Fat Quarter Club, this is what you got. Any of the leftovers we sell on our site at a higher price. This is the On Dasher Petite Bundle. I love this fabric. And you know, this weekend is so fun because I get to sew. It's like the first weekend I will be home in a weekend in like over 5 weeks. And so I'm gonna get to sew, and I'm so excited. So this is On Dasher by Sweetwater. This is the February Fat Quarter Club by Lori Holt, and I'm taking this one home. It's a great mix of reds and pinks, and just so you know, on that Lori Holt Fat Quarter bundle, she picks every fabric in there. So you know that they're gonna go together really nice. French General's new collection is called Woven Ginghams. I'm going to show it to you, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about it. And I'm going to be honest, I haven't sewn with these. But I mean, we've been in business what year is it? 23 years? I don't know.
21?
No, I got married in 2020. Oh my word. 22. In 2 months, it'll be 22 years. I can't even add. A long time ago, like 20 years ago, Moda used to make silky wovens all the time. And that's what they used to call them, silky wovens. And it was like a thing. And they were the first, that I remember doing them. And I've never sewn with these, but they're so pretty. So these are called French General Wovens. They're 100% cotton. And they're very silky. They're just very they don't call them silky anymore, but they're very soft and they're very thin, but they don't ravel like they used to on the ends, if that makes any kind of sense. Really pretty. So you can get this as a half yard, as a fat quarter, or as yardage. I think that would make a really cool manly quilt. I think if you took the quilt that we recorded yesterday, that would look really good in that quilt. What was that called? Layer cake something. Crepe. I think that would look really good in that. That's the free pattern coming out soon. This is the Deliciousness Palette Pantone Bella Solids Fat Quarter Bundle. Okay, so there's going to be 4 bundles that are Pantone Bella Solid bundles. I saw a blog post by Moda about a week ago, and so all of the bundles have 9900-40, which I believe is this one or this one. It's one of these. So to make the bundles, I had to buy like 10 bolts of it, and so it took a while to get it. But there are going to be 4 bundles, and they're going to be hosting sew-alongs and different things using the Pantone color of 2025, which is one of these. It's the paper bag. I do know that. It's -40 paper bag because I had to buy it. So this is the first one we were able to cut. So definitely check out Moda's blog and what they're going to be doing with that. And I'll show you the others another time. They're just not cut yet. And then we have a lot of fabric. I'm so excited. Okay, this is the Love Me More collection by Lisa Audit for Riley Blake Designs. Her fabric has been selling very well. And with Riley Blake, there's yardage, 2.5-inch strips, 10-inch strips, charm packs, and fat quarters. And if you ever see a half-yard bundle with any collection at Fat Quarter Shop, you will know that it sells good, because that's how I pick it. So this one's kind of like botanicals, really sweet. It's got, you know, bees and flowers and all the good things that are outside. But this next one, oh my gosh, I love it so much. I have to buy it. I have no body to make this for, but this is the best thing I've ever seen. It's called Pop and Play Fisher-Price. If you were born in the 70s, which I know nobody else in this room was, these were the little toys you had by Fisher-Price. Oh my gosh. My kids did not have any of these, but remember the phone? I used to drag that phone. I remember just dragging it. Like it had wheels and I would just drag it everywhere. And that little thing, I used to run around my granny's house, pop in, and she'd be like, "Can you stop?" Oh my, this is.
But like they were probably more modern.
Denise says Denise was born in 1992.
5.
Oh my gosh, she's so much younger than me. Okay, Jordan, what year were you born in?
94.
No, you weren't.
You weren't.
What year were you born? 86. Okay. Okay, I can remember that. That's the year my brother graduated high school. Gosh, I mean, I am getting, the other day, me and Kevin, oh my gosh, we were like, we were at a dance competition, and it was like at a high school, like Kevin used to play basketball at, and he's like, I am so old. Anyway, I love this collection, and I don't know, I just think it'd be so cute to make a pillowcase for my bed. It's just cute. Like, it wouldn't match anything, but it's just nostalgia. This is the same, this is that Forest Village collection that you saw in the On the Boardwalk quilt. And it's got, you know, mushrooms, trees. It's also very earthy. I'm trying to think of a word. Gardeny. Flowers. Oh, so cute. And I did make, with this, I made a woven star block. So I did sew with this one. So anytime a collection comes in that I love, I'm buying the charm pack and I'm making a woven star block using it. And then all the leftover charm packs, I'm going to make a big stack of all the ones I don't use, and I'm going to give it away. Now I have to make 80 blocks. So that's going to be a giveaway in like 3 years when I finish it. I do need to look at the What's New page because I get to sew. I'm so excited I get to sew. Emma's going out of town tomorrow. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so amazing. I'm going to have a quiet house. Okay, these next collections are Tree of Life. I'm going to show them to you, but I want to show you them on the side first so you can see them together. So this is postcard, this is berry botanical, and this is woodland. We have this as bundles and as yardage. I'm going to lay them all out, but postcard, berry, woodland. But I just wanted you to see them as, I think I'm going to do them. I think if I do them this way, it'll be easier for you to see. And so we're carrying a lot of Liberty fabrics now. These are all printed in Italy.
Berry woodland canopy.
What's this one?
Postcard.
Postcard. Okay, there's one more canopy. I'll show it to you. And then I'll repeat the names. Because Denise is very organized and she puts the names in there. I'm not going to pretend that I know. But these are really pretty. And I do know when these arrived, the yardage arrived separately from the bundles. So we've had one of them longer than the other. And drop any questions. So we're getting towards the end. So if you have any questions on cutting length of fabric, quilt alongs, designer mystery, any of the new books we have, just put them in the comments so I can answer at the end. Okay, so Postcard Berry, Woodlands. I think this one's really pretty. I've never made a quilt with Liberty. I should at some point. You know, I have all these big dreams of like going to retreats and just like having a whole week to myself and sewing, whatever. And then I keep booking these true crime cruises, which takes away any of my time. I finally admitted to Kevin. So I booked a true crime cruise like a month ago, but I didn't tell him, and I told him last night. But I made sure I was with other people so he wouldn't get mad at me. He was like, "What?" This is called Canopy Greens. He just looked at me like, "You did what?" I'm like, I'm sure he went straight home and looked at the credit card and was like, "What are you doing?" But my favorite podcasters are going on it, so. So this is Tree of Life, and I'm gonna repeat the names one more time. Postcard, Berry Botanicals, Woodland Pastels, Canopy Greens. Do you want me to move to the left?
Just move up.
Or move up, okay.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Kafe always comes out with these massive collections. So I think he does 2 or 3 collections a year. And usually the way that Free Spirit names them, we don't name them, they name it by the month it comes out. So this is Contrast, February 2025. This is Cool, February 2025, K-Facet. And this is Warm, 2025, K-Facet. And I'm going to lay them out. Now, obviously, it's March. So they estimated it was going to come out in February. So it must have come out a little bit late. And with these, they put together all kinds of different pre-cuts with different names and different, like the design rolls might be a different assortment of fabrics, if that makes sense. And we do carry any new Kafe, we carry all of the yardage. So this is Contrast, and Contrast always has a black and a gray, always. This is Cool.
Berry? Yeah, botanicals.
Berry was red.
Yes, what was after it?
This is Cool. You know, it's so funny. One time Lori tried to teach me the difference between Cool and Warm and fabrics, and I was like, Lori, I have no idea what you're talking about. And this is the Warm. And so I've never sewn a Kafe quilt either. The most popular yardage that we sell is the big pieces like this. And with every designer, everything sells differently. With Kafe, the yardage outsells the pre-cuts by a mile. Just people buy chunks and chunks and chunks of Kafe yardage. And with Kafe, what we do is we keep it on reorder until it's discontinued by Free Spirit because it's so popular. So you might see stuff on our site that's 10 years old. That's by Kafe. Denise, this is going to be your gym workout. You won't have to go to the gym. Did you go to the gym today?
No, I'll go after work.
You're going to go after work. Oh my gosh, I haven't been to the gym. You can pay me to go to the gym. Oh my gosh, my son, I was like, are you going to go to the gym this weekend to work out? Because he's all into working out. He's like, I'm going to work out outside. I was like, that means you're not doing anything. That was my attempt. This is Charm Wood by Figo Fabrics. The designer is Bernadette Urbanovics. Really pretty colors in this one. I love the questions you guys are putting in there because It's really nice because I think I know the answers. One of them I know I have to ask Denise. Oh, that's so cute. I don't know. I want to make a bunch of pillowcases for Christmas. I want to make one for each of my kids. Well, but TCU doesn't have any licensed fabric. There's a company called Cycle that does licensed college fabrics, but they don't make any TCU. I mean, we don't sell it, but I was going to buy it from someone. Blue Harmony by Nancy Mink, Wilmington Fabrics. And Wilmington Fabrics usually have florals. They usually have a panel, and they usually have a running stripe. If you're ever looking for a running stripe that you want to cut length of fabric to put on a border, I would look on Wilmington at Fat Quarter Shop and Timeless Treasures. And this is what I mean by running stripe. On our site, I think we call them repeating stripes. And they run length of fabric. I just by habit call them running stripes. And when we name fabrics on the site, just so you know, most of the manufacturers name the fabrics and we just use what they call it. It's kind of Monet-ish. Magnolias. Blue Harmony, Nancy Mink, Wilmington Fabrics. Stars of Valor is by Beth Grove for Wilmington Fabrics. And Wilmington always does a patriotic group every year, and we usually buy it. And when you see a bundle that is folded like the one that's in squares, that means that the manufacturer cut it. If you see something like this, it means we cut it. I think. This one's patchworky. Here's your running stripe, Wilmington. It's funny, each of the companies they kind of have a formula. Like Riley Blake, most of their collections, except Lori, of course, 21 pieces. Wilmington, 14 plus a panel. It's all very, this would make a great backing. It's all very, and then this is the panel. And this panel is 23 inches wide. The Jolly Bar 5 book comes out early April. When I look at this, you know what I think is really cool? Like if you took this, just the star, and you put some of Lori's, okay, what's the name of it, Denise? I always forget.
Vintage trim.
No, the stuff you applique with.
Interface.
The sew-in interfacing. Like if you put the sew-in interfacing on top, and then you stitched right here and flipped it out and put it on something, that would be, you could just make a table runner with it, like just to put like as a centerpiece. I don't know, anytime I guess I'm always trying to look at fabrics and think, you know, yeah, it's a panel, what could you do with it? Just to change things up. This next collection, I can tell you, has sold very well. It arrived, I think, last week, and we are selling it like crazy. It's called Mademoiselle. Mademoiselle, just say it, Jordan.
Mademoiselle.
Okay, did I say it right? Okay, I think I said it right. By Patty Bassimi for Art Gallery Fabrics. And what is really selling is the yardage. And I think you're going to see why when you see it. It's very French. This one is really, just really pretty. Sorry, Denise, I'm kind of flipping them when they're upside down. This is so cute. That would make a cute table, that would make a cute pillowcase for my bedroom. Yeah. Emma's roommate for college, I guess her mom is a interior designer. And so her mom is like, oh, I'm gonna like do a design board and then decorate their room. I'm like, oh my gosh, these girls live some other life than. I'm like, I got my bedding at Kmart when I went to college.
How did you say that?
Mademoiselle?
Say it again.
Mademoiselle?
Mademoiselle.
Say it louder.
Say it loud.
Mademoiselle.
It's not madam, it's mademoiselle.
Mademoiselle. There you go.
Proved you wrong yet again.
He's always right. Okay, Lighthouse Fat Quarter Bundle. This is actually the half yard bundle. This came in about 2 weeks ago. This is Lighthouse, and this is the newest laundry basket quilts collection. Now, with laundry basket quilts, it's also, we keep the fabric until it's discontinued by Andover. I can tell you that the Beach House collection that came last year sold out really fast. It was all blues and creams. And I'm hoping a new shipment of that comes by May. So pretty. And I haven't made an Adita quilt in a while. This is cute. And her collections are always super big. What did he say? Nothing.
I'm trying to pronounce the word.
Oh, we're still trying to. Okay, so let me tell you a little trick that we have here. What's the app you use?
For what?
What is it?
For what?
When he needs to say a word, he talks to Google.
Yeah, and then Google just tells him how to say it.
So what Jordan does is he like talks to his phone and says, "How do you say this?" And then he pretends that he knew. And then that's how he knows how to say it. But we should have me and Denise said at one time we were going to do a word of the day so we could learn words and try to get one by on him, but it hasn't worked. He has a lot of funny words he uses. He's from the north, so they use different words. And the first word he ever used that threw us off was, canted. And he was brand new, and he was like, it needs to be canted. And I was looking at Denise like, who is this guy? Is he joking? But we didn't know him very well, and so we just looked at each other, and he just kind of looked at us like we were weird. And I still don't know what it means. Denise and I had a very similar education. Jordan had a very good education, let's just say that. And this one is really pretty. What's great about Adita Fabrics also is there's always a large range, and she always has a lot of backgrounds. And she usually has this print and a background, and I think that one works really great. I used that years ago in one of her free quilt alongs. Okay, so that's all the new fabric. Now I'm going to answer questions. Is there a list of all of Lori Holt's So Simple shapes?
Not on our side that I know of.
I know that we carry every So Simple shape that's still in print, and I actually think all of them are in print. So if you went to Fat Quarter Shop and you typed Lori Holt So Simple shapes, I think they would all pop up. What quilt along did Kimberly say she was going to do even though it had applique? The typewriter quilt by Riley Blake and Lori Holt. Are you going to have the banners in a kit? So I'm not, because they use tiny pieces. So I'm thinking, let me see that board, but I think they're layer cake friendly. Let me look at that board real quick to make sure I'm not saying anything wrong. And this board, actually, if you want to see this like up close, if you go to Riley Blake websites, there's a little tab at the top that says storyboards, and then you just type the name of the collection.
Did you say March 28th we're doing this stream to preview?
March 28th, we're going to do a preview of all new Moda and Riley Blake. This is the kit I'm going to do that's applique. So these are like, each one's different. So like this one uses a 1/4 yard. These use 5 inches. These use 10 inches. So they're all different. I think it'd be hard to do a kit because the kit would be so expensive because, yeah, I think it would be hard to do a kit with these. Do I sell bundles of white on white to be used as backgrounds? We do. I'm trying to think of what it is. We're going to Google it on Fat Quarter Shop. Okay, so there's a bundle from Riley Blake called Sparkle Elements. There is a Pin Dots, and there's also an Art Gallery collection that's white on white. Kimberbell has lots of white on white, and then there's a Lights On collection by Riley Blake. I would just type white on white Fat Quarter bundle. Go back up. That one right there, the Art Gallery one. Keep going. Down. Down. Right there. Down. Down. Right there. Oh, same one. Sparkle Elements. So Kimberbell has a good one. Do you know when Cozy Cottage Pattern by My So Quilty Life will be available? I know we have it on order, and I'm not sure when it's coming. I do know the collection is supposed to come within the next 2 weeks. What fabric collection is being used for the new Sew Sampler box? Summertime by Camille Ross Kelly. What was the quilt with the fence called? Garden Variety. I don't remember a fence. Oh, the border was a fence. I missed that. The kit, Country Roads Collection for a Cause. It's a Moda kit. Can it be starched? I don't know. I would definitely read your instructions to make sure before you do it. Can you use a fat quarters for the next Sew Sampler? I don't know off the top of my head. I do know in the first box you get the first box you get the finishing, right? No. Wait, we did that video yesterday. I don't know. Let's not answer that if we don't know. I don't know off the top of my head. When does the Liberty box get released for pre-order? Oh. Okay, one thing that Jocelyn's working on is getting those pre-sold a little bit earlier. So that's all I can say. I cannot remember the dates. You know, with the Sew Sampler box and the Liberty boxes and the specialty boxes, there's so many boxes. Do you know how much work goes into those? I can't even see straight. Half the time when Jocelyn is talking about it, I'm like, okay, slow down. What box? Are we talking about this year's box, next year's box? We did pick yesterday the box for Valentine's for next year. Am I steaming the fabric as you press? Yes, because I've already starched it, so all of the shrinkage has already come out. If I could not steam fabric, I would not enjoy ironing. I love steaming and I love ironing. I love cutting. I could just cut and just stack stuff. I would never touch my sewing machine. Do I have any cat kitty patterns kits? There is a really cute pattern by Cotton and Joy, I believe, with a cat. And we do have a lot of Timeless Treasures cat fabrics. What is my new sewing machine? We will have to link to that in the box. You can get it from Juki Junkies. Am I going to Denver's Crime Con? Yes. Who is your favorite podcaster? Generation Y. I need a few new ones to listen to. So Generation Y is super old. I listen to their Patreon, and that's actually the episodes I like because they just banter. But I will tell you, I found a new podcast this week by, oh my gosh, I told Priscilla, now I'm thinking of her name, Candace DeLong. She was an FBI agent. She is a psychologist, and she did a YouTube video on Courtroom Confidential, and I had no idea she had a podcast. So I am going to download every episode of her podcasts. I think it all has ads, though. I might have to buy the Wondery subscription so that I don't have to listen to the ads. And I'm going to Cabo with Emma and 8 Girls, 4 Moms next week sometime. Do you know what day I'm leaving?
March 18th is when you're out of office.
What's
It's Tuesday.
next Tuesday? Mm-hmm. Oh, Lord. I have to pack. I'm going to listen to that because I love her. Will Lori be doing the blog step by step in the sew along? I think she's going to do some, but not all. We put the detail of what she's going to do in the blog, and I don't want to answer incorrectly. Is there a way to see if I've ordered the backing to the 2024 and 2025 mystery quilts? Yes, I would email service at fatquartershop.com, and they can look that up super quick. Where do we find the monthly downloads and videos for Prairie Home? Prairie Home. The downloads will be available both on the blog and as a free PDF on the 15th of each month. The blog is Jolly Jabber. The website is Fat Quarter Shop. The first month is now, which is the one I showed you, and then the 15th of each month. Now, if the 15th is on a Saturday or a Sunday, we're going to post that on the 14th so that we're not working on the weekend. Any word on, okay, I already answered that. Are Liberty fabrics digitally printed? I am not, no. They're printed in Italy. No, I don't think they're digitally printed. If you had to choose between the new Sew Sampler quilt or the Designer Mystery, which would you make? Designer Mystery. Is Lori ending the quilt seeds? No. I think with typography, she probably just didn't do what. No, she's not ending that. Any update on the brand of starch?
Right here. Card.
Oh. Okay. So I know why you're asking. Okay, so I have always used this starch. Even before I learned from Lisa Bonjean, because I could find it at Walmart and it was cheap. I can say that it's no longer inexpensive. Now when we buy it, a customer emailed me one time and said, hey, it's really inexpensive at this place, so we placed this huge order and we have a ton of it. So this is what I use. I am a creature of habit and I really have a hard time doing something different. That is my biggest weakness as a person. I'm set in my ways. I am like, this is what I'm doing. My kids, it drives my kids crazy. I'm set in my ways. A lot of people like Nova, Teresa, who work here, they loved Stayflow. It was cheaper. Apparently Stayflow is no longer making that starch. Edita is coming out with a new starch. Now, I haven't tried it, and I probably wouldn't use it because you have to spray it, and I don't have time to spray it, but I am going to try it. And then there are some people online that I've seen, especially on Reddit, giving formulas to make starch with vodka. And there's like a whole recipe about it. And I guess vodka has no scent. It repels bugs, but the only thing is when you make it, and now this is all from Reddit. I have no idea if it's true. I spend my life on Reddit. They say that when you use it, like you dip it, but you can't save it and use it the next day. It's like kind of like a one and done thing. So I would kind of just research that. But this is just what I use, and the way that I found to make it at least, it's called something warehouse, and it just, you could buy a case. And so we just buy it, and then that's the way that we make it affordable. Yeah. So for the flowering kit for Sew Sampler, if you buy the kit, they get exactly what you need to make the blocks and the finishing and the binding. Fabric requirements and fabric conversions will release when our kits sell out. Now, I am a constant believer in, if you have a collection you love, just make it work. Like, if you have like a stash of fabrics, you can make it work. You can try to use your stash. Just, you know, you might have to move around a couple of things. Like, don't feel like you always have to buy the kit. We make the kit as a convenience so that the people who are truists and want to make, they're like me, they want to make it exactly as called for. They don't want to have to worry about color placement. That's why we make those. But feel free to use your stash, or, you know, I would say fat quarter would be a good place to start. Now, that obviously would work with the blocks, but probably wouldn't work with, you know, borders, sashing, all of that. Okay, so in 2 weeks, we are going to be doing a fabric preview of all of Moda, all of Riley Blake, and all new fabrics. Now, I can tell you, February, March, and April is when we receive the most fabrics from Moda. May and June is when we receive the Christmas fabrics from Moda. June and July is when we receive the Christmas collections from most vendors. So Moda does a little bit earlier. So, I can tell you that. That's what you can look forward to. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions after, make sure you comment. I do read all of the comments. I want to give you a big thank you for watching. Like, I'm super honored that you would even be interested in watching what I do. Very excited to be able to interact with you guys. I hope all of you have a great weekend, and I'm so looking forward to this weekend because I have time to myself.